And well, I have someone who is a civil society person. He works with the Stephanos Foundation here in Jos. His name is Mr. Lipdo. Good evening, and what a sad way to start the new year. So I'm not going to wish you happy new year.
Yeah.
Maybe you're happy for something, so you like to share so that people know.
Yeah. Good evening, Fonsak, and good evening, listeners. Well, we have to be happy because it's a new year. But then the situation is still there and is keeping some of us sad at the moment.
All right. Well, the issue is, how do you want Nigerians to respond to this? Because there's so much innuendo, there's so much conspiracy theory right now flying the air. Some people are beginning to use strong words like genocide. And during the Rwandan genocide in the mid-90s, the UN at the time were debating in New York what is the definition of genocide. And right now it's like, it's a deja vu, we're bringing this conversation up. Well, what is your general thought about this? Because it's a deeply emotional stuff.
Exactly. Thank you very much for another opportunity here to be on air with you again. You remember last year, we were here talking about the Newman issue. And at that time, it was fresh in our memories about the Uruguay here in Plateau State. And ever since, we had expected in the Uruguay attack here on Plateau State that arrest will be made. And just when we were contemplating that, Newman issue sprang up. And then killings continued. And no arrest was made or has been made on the issue in Uruguay land. Neither have any arrest been made in the issue in Newman. And of course, what do you expect? Close to Christmas. Others are happy, others may not be happy. And it's a time criminals see as a celebration moment. They spring up with a lot of killings coming up from left, right, center. Just when we're talking about Newman, Kaduna issue happened, even village heads were abducted and taken away, and many people were killed. No one has mentioned anything about it. And then we heard that at the crossover in Kwara, when people were in churches, Muslim youths went there to attack them. Up to now, we've not had anyone arrested. And then there was a killing on the street in Rivers. Also targeting churches, even though they said that one is a cult, but it's still killings. Lives have been lost, so many. And then, of course, we just heard of Benue, just this year, that has woken us in this new year. And that's where we are at the moment. No one has been arrested, all true. But thank God for the Benue issue, 9 people have been arrested. So that's our hope. What's going to happen in that regard? That's where we are.
Okay. Will you blame Nigerians or people in the Middle Belt, for example, for using strong words as genocide? Because, for example, when this issue of armed banditry in Zamfara State, the president wore full army regalia to Zamfara State on the issue. There's a military formation in that regard, around that angle. Agatu killing the president in show up, Plateau killing the president in show up, Taraba killing the president in show up, Newman killing the president in show up, but at least he sent the IG of police. And Benue State right now, well, the president didn't even address publicly to Nigerians. When the president was supposed to be in Bauchi for state visit, he made an address in Hausa language, and it was because of the hazy nature of the weather at the time, and he addressed the people, pleading with them for understanding. But right now, it's something that, is about human life. And even in his New Year message, the president didn't talk about this issue and what he's doing, the government is doing. Will you say that all of the conspiracy theory in the minds of people in the Middle Belt perhaps is confirming and is holding some truth to this conspiracy theory?
Yeah, thank you very much for the fact. The moment we begin to ask what should the people do, then it means there is no government. Remember, government is not about the custodians of of the administration. No, is not the employee of the administration or the guardian or the people who are responsible for the administering of the government. No, it's about all of us Nigerians. When we begin to go over responsibilities, overstep responsibilities of security agencies to ask what should people do, then to me it's already a hopeless situation. And it's suggestive, isn't it? You are now telling the people you are concerned that there is nothing happening from any angle. So you are trying to, research for the people what is the best thing to do. At that time, I will, as a Nigerian, believe that we then don't have a government. At the moment, what is happening on ground is that there is failure of governance everywhere, and people are concerned. Remember that the primary responsibility of every government is to protect every life and property of its citizens. At the moment, many people have been killed starting from 2001. We are talking about 2001 to now is around 17 years. And people are getting used to people being killed, in different fashion, by some form of criminals, that are roaming the street that have not been apprehended. So we are beginning to ask, what should the people do after 17 years? It means that we're suggesting that people, you need to resort to self-help. Is that what Nigerians want to do? I believe that if by now Nigerians have done nothing about, they are still talking about this thing, it's because they are hopeful.
All right.
They are hopeful.
How will you describe these militias that are going by marauding and ransacking villages and killing people? Should Nigerians consider it an insurgent situation, or is it a militia force, or is it a group of people that have declared war on Nigerians? How should we look at this?
There are different ways that this thing has presented itself. Number one, we hear the governor of Kaduna State saying that those who carried out killings in southern Kaduna are known. So that's another aspect. There is another aspect of killings that come from the Fulani herdsmen who just storm into farmers' villages and attack people who are armless and sleeping in the night, and they just massacre them. That's another aspect. We have the other aspect where Boko Haram, insurgent groups spread into villages around southern Borno, into northern Adamawa, and attack the villages and take, captive of girls and weak people, and take them, to captive and take them away. These are various ways that these kind of killings have happened. If we begin to describe those who are carrying out the killings as citizens, if the responsibility of describing these, criminals are left to the citizens, then it's going to be dangerous. That is why there is security agencies that with the responsibility of apprehending every person as a suspect,
whether or not
the
security agencies,
yes.
Because
yes.
For me, at the last count, just armchair research,
right.
The number of people who have been empowered by the Constitution to hold arms are not more than 1.5 million,
right.
conservatively in Nigeria.
Exactly.
Are they enough to police and protect the lives of over 160 million people?
They are adequate. Definitely, they are not enough. But then, whose responsibility is it to find out whether they are enough or not? It is the responsibility of the administration to look at, or the government to look at how sufficient are the security agencies or people who are scheduled with these responsibilities. If the number of police are inadequate, we will direct our resources into recruiting more policemen, isn't it? And if the number of the military is insufficient, we will look to that area. But how much effort have been put in place? But even before we go there, Fonsak, we need to look at how much have we used the little, how efficient have the little resources that we have in place, how efficient have they been? When you deploy soldiers to a crime site and they run away from the criminals, none of the soldiers is killed or shot or wounded, and then the vulnerable people they are supposed to protect are the ones who are massacred. What does it tell you of the expertise of those security men? So we should ask ourselves, those people we recruit as soldiers, how much have they been efficient? That's one. Before we start looking to whether they are enough or we should recruit more.
Let's look at the Benue issue. In 2012, former Governor Jonah Jang, now Senator Jonah Devi Jang, confronted the then President Goodluck Jonathan to say, because of the killings in the hinterlands in Vion, Berkeley, and some parts of the south, he said, look, don't call me a chief security officer because my hands are tied. I don't have any power whatsoever to give directive to the police. And that was the same thing that Governor Samuel Otom of Benue State said yesterday. Will you suggest a redesign in the security architecture so that the governor will have some power and control over security agencies in his domain? Or will you prescribe for a creation of state police or arming vigilantes like we did with the civilian GTF in the Northeast?
Well, at the moment, we have to look at what is happening currently in the country. How has a chief security executive officer, how much has he taken responsibility for things that are happening, for failure of the security operatives to act in such situations? We have just started talking, and you talked about the president not saying anything about situations happening at his Christmas or New Year address. You know, that speaks volumes to criminals. It means what we are doing is under the table. And so that emboldens the criminals to continue what they are doing. You will expect that the chief executive should mention what is paramount to the hearts of the people. So how much has this government been listening to the pains and suffering of the vulnerable people on ground? That matters. Before we begin to look at, what the security agencies themselves are scheduled with as a responsibility.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to open the conversation right now to our audience. Join the conversation, call 09098848848, 09098848848, or you can call 09055666699, 09055666699. It's 5:24. This is Nigeria at Sunset on G101.9 here in Job. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
You need to turn down the volume of the radio, please.
Okay.
Yeah,
hello.
Go ahead and join the conversation, please.
Okay, yeah, this is Samuel speaking.
Samuel, go ahead, please.
Go
ahead, Samuel.
Okay, yeah, attending the issue of this case, I would like to say I'm really displeased with the president. Because if you remember during the last regime, there was this killing of a spot that happened in the northeastern part of the country. The president was busy campaigning in Kano, and the same thing still happens now. You see the president going for commissioning of failures. Is that what Nigeria really is at the moment? When they are killing here about and you can't go get to visit and control these people? So seriously, we need to look into this.
All right, thank you. Hello.
Yeah, Beneka from Terminals.
Go ahead.
Well, I don't know who is fooling who in this country. We need to tell ourselves the truth. I mean, just when we were talking about the issues of the herdsmen attack, all of a sudden, miraculously, the Nigerian army has come out to tell Nigerians that they found the Chibok girl. I mean, who is even writing this script? Who is writing this drama? This drama should come to an end. We were talking of the issue of the killing in Benue, and the Nigerian army all of a sudden have come out to tell us that they found the Chibok girl. Now you've gotten the people that you said to take this attack. The next thing now, you take them to one street in Kano, and when the president's wife is celebrating her birthday, they'll give them amnesty they give them presidential pardon. What kind of rubbish is this in this country? We fail to do the proper thing. What is the proper thing? Sending the Nigerian troops. There is no body that is bigger than the Nigerian troops. If our troop has been named as the best in the world, then it should go out and fish out these people who are carrying out issues, these attacks. As simple as that. It's high time we are solving issues in this country. We politicize everything in this country. We're talking of the dead, and they're telling us that they found a Chibok. Where did they even keep these Chibok girls that they're releasing one by one? Where did they keep them that they're releasing them one by one to Nigerians? Look at the issues of food scarcity. We are still suffering on these issues. And we're talking of reduction in the production of food that will feed this country entirely.
So, Emeka, are you saying that
what is happening in Benue?
The release? Are you saying the release of the Chibok girl is a diversionary tactic?
Yes, they are diverting the attention of Nigerians. That is what they want. That is their aim. That is their aim, to divert our attentions. And it will not happen. People should come out and condemn what is happening. For God's sake. That's my take, concern.
Well, Emeka, I know that it's a very emotional issue. Hello. Go ahead, join the conversation, please.
Every day you see, if you are a writer in this country, if you write, I mean, you don't ask what to write about Nigeria. You know, it's a very funny country. Yesterday, someone said, I go bless him. He said something in another part of yesterday. He said, when he was speaking about when he was complaining about the video released by Abubakar Sheka, he said something. He said, anytime the guy releases a video, you understand now that the Chibok girl or girls will be released. That's what they said. I was watch out. And now, what are we hearing now? That they have found one. You see, when you talk about conspiracy theories, I don't blame Nigerians. It's like some people are just, master strategists when it comes to this issue. And that's why you see many people continue to doubt this people get issue. Don't blame them. You can see the drama unfolding every day. Today they have found one. Tomorrow they will find five. Next tomorrow they say we saw 50 running away and we brought them back. This point today on the BBC One Service, they say they have released 700 escapees from Boko Haram. My brothers, Boko Haram people, where they do keep these men and women or children or girls. That 700 will be released at the same time. I don't know that the Nigerian people don't know. Except when there's a problem, when people are shouting, they will just, they always keep their joker. You understand now? They know what to do. By the time we have some issues, they just create their joker. Why are we playing politics with the lives of people? Why are we joking with people? Why are we doing people's lives? Now, we're talking about Benue, and somebody in Canada is what do you call it now? He's trying to what grammar will I use now? Launch railway.
Yes, infrastructure.
Are you going to think by this time do your railway thing? You understand now? You're supposed to be in Makodi with the people of Benue. When you're in Makodi, saying that you are launching railway, that you will ask more, you will do this, you will do that. Go help us. I want to thank my brother back. I still love him so much. He has done so much. We know he just. I will always talk about it right for many years. God bless you, brother. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Wow. Hello. Yeah. Let's take this call, then you respond. Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Join the conversation.
Yeah. That is Sam from the
Okay, Sam, go ahead.
No, really, I'm happy that we begin to understand this game about it's a game. So I want to say I want to listen to their way of something. Later to immigrants are strangers now from Niger is too much. The government and the security agents will be aware, it wants to before another thing happens. That's my thing.
Thank you. Yeah, please.
Actually, I heard what...
And Nigerians right now are saying that the release of the Chibok girl is a diversionary plan.
That is what I want to draw attention to. You know, people are watching. People are listening. And people are beginning to criticize the security agencies. You remember you asked a question, how competent, how effective, how are they enough in number to contend within the number of Nigerians? You know, that is the thing. People are watching and criticizing the way people are playing their games. When military are deployed and they run away from the crime scene, what does that tell you of the competence of that organization? When you deploy a flying jet or helicopter to go and protect vulnerable people and it ends up blowing a bomb on the heads of those people, what does that tell you? Right? And this is what is happening again. In Benue, when people come out to protest, then we have 3 of such people killed by security agencies. We don't know, we don't care whether it's soldiers or police, because they should know who to deploy in riot situations. They should know who to deploy to the criminals perpetrating crime in villages. You don't just deploy soldiers to a mob, okay? And when they did that and children booed the soldiers, okay, and the soldiers moved out, the police now came as if this is our responsibility to impress the people, and you spray innocent children who are protesting for their rights, who are feeling, insecure, and you spray them with bullets and killed some of them on the street. Then it's telling us that, look, the security agencies are there to fight the law-abiding Nigerians so that criminals will continue to perpetrate their crime effectively in the society. It's not right at all.
What will you say to the Plateau State government? Because Benue is not far from Plateau State.
That's right.
Yeah, and even Southern Kaduna. The event in Southern Kaduna is very horrible.
Yeah, this thing is, it has its location. It's rotating within this middle belt, the ethnic nationalities region. Within middle belt alone, and let me say 19 northern states that we carried out our research, there are over 600 tribal people that are within this region alone. Right? These are people who depend on village heads or their tribal heads to speak for them. At the moment, they are accountable to the state government. Okay? But these are the groups that are being targeted with this crime. And because they don't have a voice, crime is continuously being perpetrated. My advice to the government of Plateau State, government of Taraba, government of Adamawa and Kaduna and maybe Niger and other parts of Middle Belt, let them come together and speak with one voice. But it's not about the issue of politics anymore.
The governors of the northeast and northwest have sat down, but the governors of Middle Belt, central Nigerian area, have not sat even to discuss the economy of this region. Who will you blame it on for their failure? And for example, Governor of Plateau is APC, Governor of Benue is APC, and things like that. And ordinarily the citizens in this state will feel protected because their power is at the helm of affairs. Because that's how we believe in Nigeria, that security comes with the regime. If it's PDP in power and you're APC, then perhaps you're going to get less security because your governor doesn't control security as the case is.
This is always the plight of the minorities, you understand. When the majorities are playing the game, the minorities just flow with the winning. This is what has happened to government within Middle Belt. Instead of them to understand the time when they need to come together, to speak for their people, and the time to play politics, they are so confused. They just flow along in the name of being politically correct. And I think that is where it's a big problem. I salute the courage of the Benue State Governor. He's APC, the same political party with the ruling party. But he is able to stand even when we said people are suspecting that perpetrators of this are Fulanis, he still stands with his people to say, look, this is against the will of my people. And that's why we have the grazing reserve in Benue State. In Plateau, we need to watch our back. In Nasarawa State, we need to watch our back. How effective are we going to be? We were talking earlier on, and you said that the Governor Jang mentioned to Goodluck Jonathan. That's right, that his hands are tied and all that. Of course, the operations of the military and the police is in the hands of the chief executive, president of the country. He is the one who deployed the soldiers to act. Okay, no governor controls the police or the military. That, again, Nigerians need to address that formation and the structure. Mark you, Nigerians are crying recently about restructuring. This could be one of the things that we need to look at. Why are things not being effective? Why are our structures not being effective? Why is it that our security agencies are not protecting us? And yet we have major groups coming out to protect the interests of their own people. When we heard that Fulanis were killed in Numan, whether they were killed by Bachamas or not, then the Fulani leaders come out to speak on behalf of the Fulanis, right? And how then do you expect the minority tribes to speak?
In Taraba as well.
Yeah, and in Taraba as well. So when Fulani are everywhere and their leaders are speaking for them, then of course the minorities don't matter.
All right.
And this is not right in this country.
All right. Well, let's go to our audience. Hello.
Hello. Good evening, Consul.
Good evening. Join the conversation, please.
It's Austin from Oka.
Go ahead, Austin.
Talking about perspective and the conspiracy theory, let me run a quick one.
Right.
When there was issue in the Southwest between the Yorubas and the Hausa community, the interior minister was in South Africa, and because it was alleged that the Hausa community were the most affected, do you know he flew in from South Africa direct to see was it fair that happened? That is one. When the Agatu issue happened, it took the federal government 2 weeks for Dambazo to make a statement in that regard. That is another. In Zamfara, when this cattle rustling was at its peak, the federal government deployed jets or helicopters to go to go bring that thing to bring it under control. And so when you begin to see all of this, you ask questions, do life matter? Or it looks like when it happens to a particular clan or tribe, the response is most sweet than others. These are the things, concept that is fueling the conspiracy theory. So it's evident that government, the present regime or government is failing like the text you have in the video yesterday said, if the security agencies are more interested about regime protection, not the lives of ordinary Nigerians. That's my submission.
Thank you. I would like you to comment on this. Will you blame citizens for looking at governance from, the stereotype of religion, ethnicity, or tribe or region? Will you blame them? Or will you blame those in the position of leadership?
Yeah, actually, when you begin to see...
Because he clearly mentioned...
response is being fragmentized, in favor of other groups and not others. Like when he mentioned the issue of Zamfara, do you remember that the chief executive himself, President Buhari himself, wore a military uniform and landed in Zamfara? What stopped President Buhari from doing that this morning? Landing, or day before yesterday, landing in Benue State. What stopped him from doing that? Are we saying that whatever happens in the north, far north, matters more to the regime, the current regime, as other people are beginning to buy it? We are seeing that some of us analysts are thinking that the current situation is a struggle for resources, struggle for power, or whatever struggle, space and other things. But then we're beginning to see some actors drivers of this conflict that are not different from what people are perceiving. That is religious sentiment. There is religion, at the bottom of this crisis that is driving. And because he is from my religious belief or religious group, I'm going to act quickly.
Right.
And that is not right.
All right, we'll have a couple of phone calls. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good evening. Go ahead, join the conversation. Tell me.
What I want to say is
you need to say who are we
speaking? My name is Samuel.
Samuel, go ahead. Okay.
What I want to say is that what is happening in our country today is salarism. In terms of, let's say, military, civilian now have mass than the military. If let's assume that somebody is in the road, you want to search him and you refuse to search him. What the next thing they will tell you that if he carries nonsense, I will make sure I pull your catch. Without uniform that you're wearing, I will pull it. And what will you advise people that is in the road? And the uniform, what they are doing is the one that is putting food in their table. And if in any trajectory, the man still went ahead to say anything at all or actually, he will call somebody and before they break, they will handcuff the man and say that the man will study that the man is expecting money. Whatever is happening in this country, whether it is contrarian, if you touch him, if you want to do something, if the civil has to say something, you want to do the proper thing, they will say that you heard the civilian, you are doing another thing. They will call their godfather, and the godfather is the person that is inside the place, and they will even nobody will know his whereabouts. They will not do anything at all, anything pertaining. So all these things that is pertaining to what is happening is the cooperation. The thing that is happening, they have the godfather. Whatever is happening, they are backing them up. That is what I want to say.
Thank you very much.
Actually, yeah, just like
okay. Hello.
Hello, Pastor. Good evening.
Good evening. Join the conversation. Tell me your name and where you're calling from.
Yeah. This is Putnik. I'm calling from
Go ahead, Putnik.
Okay, just as everybody has said, like one of my brothers, I used to say that when he's fighting and he look back and see, that he used to have more friends. Even though he's not going to be able to beat the person that is fighting, but when he's fighting, he come back and seeing of his brother around that, he used to have another friend to fight that person. What am I trying to say? The president of the federation today is still an man. And he will not promote the happen of this enhancement. He has never condemned anything. He has never, rather they will call them unknown government. But he will send soldiers to go after those that they are cattle rustler. Are you hearing me?
Mm-hmm. Yes, Putnik.
Okay, he will send soldiers to go after the cattle rustler. Cattle is a cow now. They are more important than human beings in this country because they are their brother. The soldier men we are talking about, now we don't have enough security men with soldiers. The soldiers to supervise the killing of all these Western and herdsmen go to kill. Soldiers go with them as well. Because the soldiers they are there with them, they are the same people. So if you see 10 soldiers, maybe out of those 10, 9 or 8 they are still animals. So they will stand there to survive their brother. Look at what happened in Mayango here. It's a live witness of what I'm saying. Soldiers to survive the killing in Mayango in Bata local government in Plateau State. I am from Benue State. I'm from Benue State. I need to by tribe. So when Fulani are there killing people every day and there's nothing president will not say anything about it. Rather he's talking about building railway, doing this one. So it's just part of government. The only thing that's going to stop these things is to celebrating and say, well, we'll go to out of the office. We don't expect anything because the PDP, the government is doing the JP. Look at our notice, open him out to tell a week to resign because they are bad people on New Year Day. What is he going to tell because all of them are from the same party. And they are hiding under the same thing, removing our 1 billion to buy and give to play an airplane so that they will go at
thank you, Putnik.
It's our point they are using to buy them to
Thank you, Putnik.
Yeah, actually, what Samuel is saying is very interesting, isn't it? You know, because people are concerned, even in the military, people are beginning to get frightened.
Yesterday, caller called to say the Christian soldiers.
That's right.
I went home, I was thinking, where did this idea come?
Where did this come from? Because you think military should be one organization. Yes, organization, and it's an entity. If we're beginning to see this thing that is happening in the society, encroaching into a regimental organization like the military, then we have a cause to be concerned. How effective do you expect the military to be? If they are afraid that, if I act like this will happen to me, then there's going to be a problem. There's actually a problem in this country at the moment. And I see a point in what Samuel said there, that if this is what the military themselves are facing, then no wonder why they will not be able to defend us in this country. And it brings me back to what you are asking. What should then the people do? What should then the people do?
Because people are saying that, look, we're going to carry arms. Somebody clearly said that we're going to carry arms. Somebody said we're going to defend ourselves. And for me, if you say defend yourself is vague. What do you mean by defending of yourself?
You see? And these are the people who come out innocently like that, feeling with those kind of hurts. And when they are seen with arms, where does that end them? At best, if they escape the bullet of the military, they end up in jail for being seen with firearms, and then we think that is the control, of crime within our society. No, you first of all start it from the bottom.
It's very sad. Yeah. Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Good evening.
Good evening, Pastor.
Join the conversation. Tell me your name and where you're calling from.
This is Joe from Engr.
Joe, go ahead, please.
Yes. What I want to say is about what the last caller spoke upon. You see, when things like this happen, you don't expect anything lesser than what this guy said. I mean, the military should be the one weighing into the matter. But when you see things like this happening, people being killed in cold blood, I mean, the worst form of death is when you're defenseless. And someone was killed. I mean, it's very disheartening. This matter cannot just leave one's memory for one. I mean, it's unfortunate that these things are happening and the military is watching. And, it's not his fault that he said the military is behind it. Because when they can't do anything, even if the military should defend and they don't defend, or maybe they try to defend and these things happen, you expect that the people will lose confidence in the security apparatus. So, I mean, the government just has to wake up. All the cheap talks about campaigns and other railway projects are not the things that matter for now. Human lives are involved. And like I said in the morning, if this does not stop, I'm telling you, anarchy is going to be looming. The government just has to wake up to its responsibility. And I love the fact that you guys are laying emphasis on this issue. Because if others keep mute and no one is talking about it, I assure you that something more than what's happening in Makoti will be the other day. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Actually, yeah, when you look at issues, when we started, you talked of a policeman arrested in Adamawa State
for killing
7 farmers. He actually took his time, tied them together, and just shot them point blank. Where does that take us? This is a security man given gun, by the government to protect these same people. But he found them, helpless, made sure that they submitted to him, and he shot them to their death. I wonder how the Nigerians are going to try this case. And he's a policeman. So what manner of people are there in these security agencies? What are the people? Who are the people we are giving arms to and expecting that they should protect Nigerians? If we are not stupid, we need to look closely to those things and really sanitize the system and make sure that it is there for us to depend on.
All right, let's take this call. Hello. Hello.
Good morning. Good evening.
Good evening.
How are you doing, sir?
Fine. Who are we speaking with, sir?
We are speaking with Shai Ali from Gel.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Based on what is happening in our country today, the killings that are happening is a lesson to us Nigerians. We have to learn something from it. And the last thing that I will say, may the Lord deliver us from the wicked ones in Jesus' name.
Amen. Thank you
Amen.
very much. Thank you. It is okay. Well, went too late. 090-5566-6699, or you can call 090-98848848.
Yeah.
Hello.
Good evening, Mr. Bonsa.
Yes. Good evening.
How are you doing?
I'm fine. Join the conversation.
This is Santino calling from Bukuru Express.
Go ahead, Santino.
Like what is happening in the country, the government will not learn her lesson. If the youth in the Middle Belt or Nigeria do not take the government to the ICJ Hague, I am telling you, Bonsa, these people that are being killed, they are not animals, they are human beings. Such a thing happened in Africa, in Kenya, within a parameter, it was a village like that. The president was taken to the ICJ. And I'm telling you, those people they know their right. And you know one thing that really surprises me? We Nigerians, we are too slow to reaction. We are too slow. We say we are learned. Even lawyers, what we call the journalists and all these things. This thing is happening. Tomorrow, look at it. South Kaduna. For years it has been happening. The two states. Benue state. And you know what really frightens one over this thing? These killers, they don't spare women, they don't spare the unborn children, they don't spare children, which with this are generation of the indigenous that are living there. They don't want them to see anything. They wipe them out. It's a genocide. We must come together as one, as a Nigeria, and cry out. Government, you know that this thing is bigger than government. Now, if these people that are highly trained, that are doing things like this, once we gather as a unit, as regards to unify voices, go to ICC, I think they will listen to us.
Thank you.
God bless you. Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, sir. Give your final thought, because time is fast spent.
Exactly. Yeah. You see, the last caller made mention of the same word you are concerned about. That people are beginning to use words,
strong words,
very, very strong words. You know, these are Nigerians feel that there is someone somewhere who is coming someday to handle our problem. You know, and we begin to look to instruments such as International Criminal Court, World Court, and other things that we are hoping that will rise up to support or help with the situation here. But one thing I want Nigerians to understand is that you must be able to exhaust the internal remedies before you begin to look outward and outside. So we need to make sure that the systems within Nigeria function to our own advantage first. If they don't function, we should not expect anybody from anywhere to come and solve our problems. For instance, if the soldiers are not effective, can we take them to court? Can we take them and as responsible for what has happened in Benue State? Can we actually sue the system and make sure that the soldiers pay dearly for the lives of people that happen there? Can we do same for any administration that failed to support its people? That is when Nigerians will wake up. It's not by going on the streets and rioting and all that. We have to address our system right here. And what baffles me, Ponsak, is that we are now heading towards political time again. And very soon, these same people who are concerned about the death of their brothers will begin to become what? Divided in the front. We become divided in our opinion. Instead of us to look to our interest, what can we come together? Who can we come together to support to give us what we really want? That is not what we are looking to. And we begin to get divided. That is an unfortunate situation.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Our distinguished audience, I've been talking with Mr. Mark Lipdo. He's the country director, right? Country director of Stephanos Foundation.
Program coordinator.
Program coordinator of Stephanos Foundation.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for coming.
Thank you.